Hey, this is Roy Furr with BreakthroughMarketingSecrets.com, and I want to talk to you today about a concept called removing the free line. And this is based on an observation I had when I was listening to the audiobook of The Inevitable, Understanding the 12 Technological Forces That Will Shape Our Future by Kevin Kelly. First off, I want to address the book really quickly. This isn't a summary of the book, but I do need to speak to what the book's about. So this is the book, The Inevitable, Understanding the 12 Technological Forces That Will Shape Our Future. It's by Kevin Kelly, and it's highly recommended. The big idea is that there are 12 inevitable forces. These are not specific technologies. They're not companies that are making a specific technology. It's not specific products, and it's not even specific to the society in which the technology is developing. These are forces and trends in the kinds of features and capabilities created by technology that are going to shift and shape our world over the next 30 years and everything in it. So really quickly, touching on each of the 12 forces before I dive into my removing the free line concept. The first force that Kelly talks about is becoming, moving from having fixed products to always upgrading services and subscriptions. So you're not buying a thing, you're buying a service, you're buying a subscription to a particular solution to your problem. Cognifying, making everything much smarter using cheap, powerful AI that we get from the cloud. A layer of artificial intelligence is being added over everything, and that's going to shift and shape every product, service, every solution to a problem that we have. Flowing, depending on unstoppable streams in real time for everything. It's not so much about having something, it's about being able to tap into the stream of that thing. Screening. All surfaces are turning into screens, whether that's through wearables that will allow us to interact with technology in a virtual space, or specifically screens in our pockets, screens on our wrists, screens on the bedside table, screens next to us on the couch, screens on the counter or on the wall, screens everywhere that completely shift the presence of technology in our lives in ways even bigger than the mobile phone and tablets have. Accessing, shifting society from one where we own assets to one where instead we have access to services at all times. For this, you can think of maybe transportation, where a service like Uber, except for with self-driving cars, becomes the way that you commute, becomes the way that you get around town, and that you no longer need to actually own a vehicle if you don't want to, but instead you use it on an on-demand basis. Sharing, collaboration at mass scale. Think open source software, think crowdsourcing solutions to problems. Kelly writes, on my imaginary sharing meter index, we're still at 2 out of 10. So expect more sharing and collaboration across the entire planet moving forward. Number 7, filtering, harnessing intense personalization in order to anticipate our desires. Think of something like Netflix, where even though they have these broad, vast categories of movies available to us on any given day, they may give you a rather short list of movies out of 10 different categories to help you pick something to watch within the next 90 seconds, which is their goal. Remixing, unbundling existing products into their most primitive parts and then recombining them in all possible ways. So giving the customer the ability to kind of control their experience. Interacting, immersing ourselves inside our computers to maximize their engagement. So creating more interaction through technology, interacting with people all over the world, interacting with people in all sorts of different contexts. Tracking, employing total surveillance for the benefit of citizens and consumers. This isn't just about Big Brother. This is about us being able to track everything. This is about total transparency through technology. Kelly argues very strongly for tracking being good as long as it's not one-sided in how it's implemented. And he says that, consolidating tracking capability in the hands of a few corporations or inside the political machine is naturally where it goes first, but it is also the most dangerous application of technology. And they won't be able to help but have tracking take place from the other direction as well. Questioning, promoting good questions are far more valuable than good answers. So questions become one of the magical tools of the future, one of the major forces for success. Not specifically knowing something, but knowing what to ask to find out. Beginning, constructing a planetary system connecting all humans and machines into a global matrix. So moving forward, we are going to get this mass network effect as the billions of people on the planet are all connected into what is now the internet and what will continue to grow as a connecting force. So that's the 12 forces. Again, I'm barely scratching the surface. I'm not doing it justice by giving you this very quick and drawn from Wikipedia breakdown of the 12 forces. And so I encourage you to read the book. But today I want to go deep on number 3 and discuss what it means to your business. So inevitable force number 3 that Kelly laid out is flowing, depending on unstoppable streams in real time for everything. And an example that he gives is the music business. There used to be money that could be made in records, in licensing, in creating these individual songs and putting them out into the market, or creating these individual albums and putting them out into the market. But a combination of technology, computers, and especially the internet turned that on its head. And so at first we got things like Napster, where there was this free song sharing, and then torrents, where you can actually share entire albums at a time. And this free sharing became this huge force that completely disrupted the music industry. And the first reaction was to take legal action, was to protect copyrights through copy protection, through preventing copying. But that wasn't actually able to stop it. They could shut down one service and 3 new ones would pop up overnight. And so the music industry had to create a new model that actually was based on flow and not based on selling these fixed objects. And so you have services like Pandora and Spotify, and now a ton of different services. Brand new business models were required to adapt to this new reality that everything is flowing. And this is inevitable in nearly every market because, as Kelly says, the internet is a free and unlimited copy machine. Copying is free and it's practically unlimited when you're dealing in bits and bytes. And what Kevin Kelly says is when copies are super abundant, they become worthless. When copies are super abundant, stuff which can't be copied becomes scarce and valuable. And so in marketing, this unlimited copy machine led to a concept called moving the free line. And the idea was that you would give away more free to build the trust of and reputation with your target market, such that when you did ask them for money, they were happy to pay you money because you'd already given them so much value for free. And that continues to this day with things like podcasts having hundreds of episodes that are available for free, or I've written over 1 million words of content at breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com to help people with getting actual business results from their marketing. And it's all been for free. And it certainly still has validity. I'm not arguing against it today. But the question is, how far are you going to let that free line go before you remove it back to a place where you're actually able to get value, to justify charging for what it is that you offer? Because today we're dealing with a situation where expertise has been commoditized. Expertise is dying in its traditional forms. A friend of mine and client Perry Marshall, for a while has been beating the drum on this, saying that, listen, the DVD business is dead. the classic training businesses where you're able to sell like a training package for $5,000 that's pre-recorded training, and you ship it out, and it's got DVDs and it's got workbooks and it's got all of this stuff, and people consume it on their own. He said, you can't charge $5,000 for that today. You can't charge $2,000 for that today. You know, you're lucky in most cases getting maybe a few $100 for that today, and it continues to decline in value. He said that copywriting, the ability to actually just create persuasive messages, that is a skill that people all over the world who do not require the same level of income that, say, someone who grew up middle class in the middle of America, like me, requires to continue to lead our lifestyle. And so there is a commoditization of even expertise-based services that that you have to counter. And it is based on this same access to information, based on these same 12 trends that Kelly lays out. So the solution specifically dealing with the flow, the constant flow of information, because the internet is an unlimited copy machine, the solution is what Kelly calls the 8 generatives that are better than free. Now, what these do is they remove the free line and create real value worth paying for. And the 8 generatives come from the question, what can't be copied? They are the answer to that question. And really quickly, the 8 generatives that Kelly goes through in the book are, number one, immediacy, having instant access to something, having it available when it's released or even before it's released, so that you as the audience, as the consumer, can become part of the creation process. For example, one of my favorite electronic music artists, Bass Nectar, today, he released a couple songs from his upcoming album, and I was able to stream it immediately on Spotify. And that's a benefit of having immediate access to music in that market that makes Spotify worth paying for. For example, personalization. When you have a generic product, generic advice, and those can be customized to the user or adapted to the recipient, that becomes valuable. So an example that Kelly gives is that the cost of sequencing DNA is going down very rapidly. And very soon, it is likely that companies will actually be paying you, medical companies will be paying you to have your DNA sequenced so that they can better treat any illnesses that you have. And actually getting that sequenced will be a free service, or a service that you actually get paid for or get some sort of discount on your insurance for. However, how to actually use that information to be healthier will be something that you'll still want to pay for in the future. Interpretation, not just getting the product, but how to use it. So for example, you may get free software, but there's an entire market that generates, such as free WordPress software. There's an entire market that generates for training on how to actually build a website with WordPress. And that's a way to add value to free. Authenticity. Again, anything that can be copied can be spread, and the internet is an unlimited copy machine. But how do you know that it's coming from a good source? How do you know that it's coming from a reliable source? How do you know that it's bug-free? Well, when you get it from the original source, you know it's the real deal. You know it's authentic, and that's a value worth paying for. Accessibility. This is about having it when you need it and not having to worry about it when you don't. Uber being a great example. To always be able to access a ride to get you across town, but not have to worry about changing the oil or taking the car in for maintenance, or the fact that the car now has 250,000 miles on it and you have to think about replacing it. So it eliminates the downsides of ownership, such that someone else is responsible, and I'm speaking to you as a consumer here, someone else is responsible for those downsides of ownership, but you're actually able to get the benefit. The flip side being the business side, that by taking the taking on the burden of ownership and maintenance and anything required to make a product or service accessible to somebody is a way to add value to something that was previously free or something that people weren't used to paying for. Next up is embodiment. So in a digital world where copies are free, physical can command a premium. So even though ebooks can be passed around for free, somebody may still pay for a physical copy of that book, especially if there's a limited run or something similar. Plus, this also includes the irreplaceable live experience. So, for example, one way to maintain that $2,000 price tag on training or $5,000 price tag on training is delivering the same content in the same mass or pre-recorded way, but also supplementing it with some kind of live coaching alongside that information. And that live coaching can be delivered over the internet, so it's digital and it's very scalable and it's fast and convenient. But the actual embodiment of a person there helping out adds value to something that's inherently free to copy. Patronage. Audiences do still want to pay creators, do still want to support artists or creatives or the people who are creating valuable content. And services like Patreon, for example, actually form a way for people to do that based on the kind of output that the creator is giving. The limitations to this is that the consumer demands for it to be easy, reasonably priced, and they want to know that the benefits of that are actually going direct to the creator. An example from the music business, again, was when Radiohead released one of their recent albums. They actually made it available for free through their website, but you could pay them as much as you wanted for it. So you could choose to get it free or you could pay them. And they made something like $2 and change from every album that was downloaded available for free. And they made more off of that album than all their previous albums released through traditional channels combined. And then findability. Time is still money. Unlimited cheap copies create clutter, and so curators are valued, people who filter and help you find the information, and single access points that simplify access to free content are also help with findability and also add a layer of value. So all of these 8 things are ways to generate additional value on top of something that might otherwise be easily shareable, easily copied, and available for free. And Kevin Kelly also talks about a 9th generative, and that's trust. It can't be copied, it can't be bought, it must be earned over time. We are going to choose to do business with people we trust, and it's intangible, but in the world where everything can be copied and nothing is quite as it seems, this will continue to have increasing value. And the trend towards flow, towards the internet being and technology being a free and unlimited copy machine, this is only going to continue, even accelerate. And the market will continue to get more for less. Your buyers, your customers will continue to get and then expect more for less. Digitization will continue to demonetize. That is, as more and more things are put into their digital form for distribution, it is going to make everything worth less. And here we're not just talking information or content, but nearly everything. As 3D printing technology continues to advance, as on-demand and distributed manufacturing continues to advance, the actual price premium for physical goods even will continue to decrease. And so you're going to have to be using these generatives to add that layer of value on top of what it is that you were selling before. Now the free line will keep moving for those who don't understand what we've been talking about today. And the only way to remove the free line in the opposite direction is to use the 8+1 generatives to create value that can't be copied. I hope this has been valuable. Again, I'm Roy Furr from Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. If you want my daily tips and essays and thoughts and reflections on marketing that actually works to grow your business, as well as the related fields of copywriting and strategy and business building, go to breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com. It's free to sign up, and I will continue delivering valuable content like this. Thank you.